couldn't serve meal. All right? What laws have Donald J. Trump committed? Right?
Broken. What laws have
broken. Okay? Okay, I'm going to say committed. Right? So here's the answer to that. It couldn't serve meal with the nail on the head.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question. Okay? Using your own words. And within this hour, you have said this yourself.
Okay.
When that dude shot you, did anything happen to that dude? Was he ever charged with anything?
Yeah, they charged with attempted murder.
Attempted murder was what they charged with. He did not kill you because I'm talking to you now.
That's correct.
Okay? But he attempted to. That's correct. Shooting you. That's what Donald J. Trump did.
He shot somebody?
Attempted. No, sir. No, sir.
Wait a minute. How did he attempt? Okay, let me ask you a question. If I got a gun on you, and you ain't got no gun, I got to jump on you, and I tell you, give me your money. Since I got to jump on you, do you have a choice but to do what I say?
No, I've got no other choice.
You don't have a choice, do you? You don't have a choice.
Drop it like a hot, man.
Drop it like a hot, right? Okay, watch this.
Okay, I'm watching.
Ukraine need the money.
Right.
Donald Trump got the money.
Right.
I ain't gonna give you the money until I hear about the investigation. He got the money. Why haven't I heard about the investigation?
Well, sir, here's why.
Okay.
Because of the whistleblower. You see, that's what you
the whistleblower.
Donald J. Trump only up that money.
This whistleblower that you don't even know who it is. The whistleblower is Adam Schiff, man.
Sir.
Adam Schiff is the whistleblower. Did you hear Al Green when he got on TV and he said, we already know that we got to impeach him because we can't beat him in a re-election? How long are you going to let these people? You just heard Zuckerberg tell you that they have no problem with feeding y'all lies to keep buying into this frenzy.
What did I tell you? Did I tell you I agree with Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg is in the business of making money.
Okay, and guess what? Guess who we making it off of? Raise your hand up.
Both of them up.
I know that because y'all keep CNN and the sit around and fed y'all this mess, man.
I take that back. I don't do Facebook. Yeah, I take that back. And speaking of that, I'm glad you went that way, man. I'm glad you went that way. Did my cousin say he saw you on the gay channel or something?
On the who?
On the gay channel.
Gay channel?
My cousin, cousin Neil was there.
He said no gay channel. He said he saw me on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay, all right.
What is the gay channel? What is that?
I have no idea. I thought
you just made it up.
My cousin said. Okay, I thought that's what the cousin.
Ain't nobody looking for me with no tub of grease and no bottle of wine.
That old gay Ricky. He's doing that.
If Ricky gay, why are you looking for you?
That's why I can't come over and miss it, man. I hope Ricky take that hit out on me. Forget about that hit by next year, because I got to come take my old lady Mother Jones to the White House.
Not much else ain't going no White House. They ain't got no White House in Memphis. That's in Nashville.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ain't no White House over there, but Christmas, here we come. How's your man?
Oh, there's another caller.
No, sir.
Now watch this, Q.
Okay.
So I created this thing. They stacked on the deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got 4 people up there, right?
Right.
3 of them, all 3 of the little liberal professors they got up there.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of these have a record where they done tweeted out in writing, which is a legal and binding document, how they hate Donald Trump, how they want Donald Trump impeached, and all of them gave thousands of dollars to Democratic campaigns, right?
Right.
There's 4 professors who actually sat on previous impeachment hearings, who is not just some professor talking about what he's teaching, but actually has experience with impeachments. Notice they don't play much about him, but you know what I'm going to play, don't you? I'm going to play what he said. And listen to this professor. One day they want a black man to say this.
Ranking Member Collins, members of the Judiciary Committee, it's an honor to appear before you today to discuss one of the most consequential functions you were given by the framers, and that is the impeachment of a president of the United States. 21 years ago, I sat before you, Chairman Nadler, and this committee to testify at the impeachment of President William Jefferson Clinton. I never thought that I would have to appear a second time to address the same question with regard to another sitting president. Yet here we are. The elements are strikingly similar. The intense rancor and rage of the public debate is the same. The atmosphere that the framers anticipated, the stifling intolerance of opposing views is the same. I'd like to start, therefore, perhaps incongruously, by stating an irrelevant fact. I'm not a supporter of President Trump. I voted against him. My personal views of President Trump are as irrelevant to my impeachment testimony as they should be to your impeachment vote. President Trump will not be our last president, and what we leave in the wake of this scandal will shape our democracy for generations to come. I'm concerned about lowering impeachment standards to fit a paucity of evidence and an abundance of anger. I believe this impeachment not only fails to satisfy the standard of past impeachments, but would create a dangerous precedent for future impeachments. My testimony lays out the history of impeachment from early English cases to colonial cases to the present day. The early impeachments were raw political exercises using fluid definitions of criminal and non-criminal acts. When the framers met in Philadelphia, they were quite familiar with impeachment and its abuses, including the Hastings case, which was discussed in the convention, a case that was still pending for trial in England. Unlike the English impeachments, the American model was more limited, not only in its application to judicial and executive officials, but its grounds. The framers rejected a proposal to add maladministration because Madison objected that so vague a term would be equivalent to a tenure during the pleasure of the Senate. In the end, various standards that had been used in the past were rejected. Corruption, obtaining office by improper means, betraying the trust of a foreign power, negligence, perfidy, peculation, and oppression. Perfidy or lying and peculation, self-dealing, are particularly relevant to our current controversy. My testimony explores the impeachment cases of Nixon, Johnson, and Clinton. The closest of these three cases is to the 1868 impeachment of Andrew Johnson. It is not a model or an association that this committee should relish. In that case, a group of opponents of the president, called the Radical Republicans, created a trapdoor crime in order to impeach the president. They even defined it as a high misdemeanor. There was another shared aspect besides the atmosphere of that impeachment and also the unconventional style of the two presidents. And that shared element is speed. This impeachment would rival the Johnson impeachment as the shortest in history, depending on how one counts the relevant days. Now, there are three distinctions when you look at these, or three commonalities when you look at these past cases. All involved established crimes. This would be the first impeachment in history where there would be considerable debate, and in my view, not compelling evidence of the commission of a crime. Second is the abbreviated period of this investigation, which is problematic and puzzling. This is a facially incomplete and inadequate record in order to impeach a president. Allow me to be candid in my closing remarks because we have limited time. We are living in the very period described by Alexander Hamilton, a period of agitated passions. I get it. You're mad. The president's mad. My Republican friends are mad. My Democratic friends are mad. My wife is mad. My kids are mad. Even my dog seems mad. And Luna's a golden doodle, and they don't get mad. So we're all mad. Where has that taken us? Will a slipshod impeachment make us less mad? Will it only invite an invitation for the madness to follow every future administration? That is why this is wrong. It's not wrong because President Trump is right. His call is anything but perfect. It's not wrong because the House has no legitimate reason to investigate the Ukrainian controversy. It's not wrong because we're in an election year. There is no good time for an impeachment. No, it's wrong because this is not how you impeach an American president. This case is not a case of the unknowable. It's a case of the peripheral. We have a record of conflicts, defenses that have not been fully considered, unsubpoenaed witness with material evidence. To impeach a president on this record would expose every future president to the same type of inchoate impeachment. Principle often takes us to a place we would prefer not to be. That was the place 7 Republicans found themselves in the Johnson trial, when they saved a president from acquittal that they despised. For generations, they've been celebrated as profiles of courage. Senator Edmund Ross said it was like looking down into his open grave. And then he jumped because he didn't have any alternative. It's easy to celebrate those people from the distance of time and circumstance. In the age of rage, it's appealing to listen to those saying, forget the definitions of crimes, just do it. Like this is some impulse buy Nike sneaker. You can certainly do that. You can declare the definitions of crimes alleged are immaterial and just an exercise of politics, not the law. However, those legal definitions and standards, which I've addressed in my testimony, are the very thing that divide rage from reason. This all brings up to me, and I will conclude with this, of a scene from A Man for All Seasons with Sir Thomas More, when his son-in-law, William Roper, suggested that More was putting the law ahead of morality. He said More would give the devil the benefit of the law. When More asks Roper, would he instead cut a great road through the law to get after the devil, Roper proudly declares, yes. I'd cut down every law of England to do that. More responds, and when the last law is cut down, and the devil turned around on you, where would you hide, Roper? All the laws being flat. He said, this country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast, man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down and you're just the man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then? And he finished by saying, yes, I'd give the devil the benefit of the law for my own sake. So I will conclude with this. Both sides of this controversy have demonized the other to justify any measure in their defense, much like Roper. Perhaps that's the saddest part of all of this. We have forgotten the common article of faith that binds each of us to each other in our Constitution.
They want to forget it.
However, before we cut down the tree so carefully planted by the framers, I hope you will consider what you will do when the wind blows again, perhaps for a Democratic president. Where will you stand then when all the laws being flat? Thank you again for the honor of testifying today, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
They don't play much of that, do they, Chris?
They don't want that out.
No, they don't want that out at all. No, they don't want that out at all.
Because they broke it down. What law have we broken?
This is an attempt for these people to unseat a duly elected president of the United States. Like this man said, what you gonna do when this thing backfire and they find some Democratic president and then the Republicans want to pull the same thing? You can throw
that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Oh, that's going to happen. You throw the Constitution out the window.
Yeah.
You throw and then you got people like Sir Neil. The other guy, I give him a pass because he ain't even a babe on milk and Christianity. He's still a fetus.
Oh Lord, yeah, fetus.
But Sir Neil, and I like Sir Neil, but Sir Neil claimed to be. I go to Life Church and I'm saved by the Lord. But you're pushing these people's agenda. Even if you hate Donald Trump, do you hate him enough to vote against God? That's my question. Why don't you just write in a candidate or don't vote? But these people are telling you that they are passing laws They not want to go against the word of God. They think it's offensive when you bring God in. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Say it.
Well, I thought it was a really good song.
I'm pausing. Go ahead.
Let's go back 4 years. Let's go back 5 years, 10 years.
Okay.
Donald Trump have been Donald Trump ever since Donald Trump been here.
Oh, no. Back then, Jesse Jackson invited him to the Operation Push Dang. Spike Lee taking pictures, telling everybody to get with him. Oprah Winfrey and Denzel Washington. And Donald Trump, they want to be on the Apprentice. And they want to go to Donald Trump's party. They was inviting Donald Trump to their party. Oh, Donald Trump was the man then.
I know, but he still was the same arrogant, whatever all them names they called him. He was that then.
He wasn't racist. He became racist when he became president.
Really?
That's
why I can't understand where all this come from. Everybody like Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. But if you go back and check him and do his past, he been the same way ever since he was Donald, before he even came up.
He doesn't let people attack him without fighting back. He's the only president I've seen in my lifetime that kept his campaign. Donald Trump told you he was going to deal with immigration. Donald Trump told you he was going to deal with regulations. Donald Trump told you he can handle the international affairs better. Them folks that had peace with North Korea since 1958. He done pulled them troops out of Syria because he's tired of America and getting them out of Afghanistan. He's tired of America fighting wars all around the world when the Constitution protects the United States of America. We're not the police of the world.
True.
But they make your sons and daughters that they bring it back in those coffins that men got to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But then these the people that they support, and they are green running around here. How come we don't see no black experts? Well, maybe because you don't believe in God. This is what their views on God. So when you run around supporting them, you think just like them.
That the Democrats in Congress and the House have dropped the religious oath for witnesses who are swearing in. And they did that kind of quietly at the beginning of the year, and then I know there's been some pushback. But that shows respect for the Constitution and an increasing awareness that many of us just don't believe in a God.
Well, unfortunately, it's been kind of a sporadic standard. Some committees have dropped the oath, others have not. I sit on the Natural Resources Committee, and in our original proposed rules for the committee, we proposed that we drop the oath, or we allow witnesses to simply say it voluntarily if they chose to, which to me, makes perfect sense. And when you know it, Liz Cheney just went ballistic. She smelled blood in the water, went on Fox News, and started ranting about how Democrats were dropping God from the Congress. And at our next meeting, the Republicans, one by one, made these pronouncements about how we shouldn't be against God, and Democrats were against God. And unfortunately, my Democratic colleagues backed down, and so we now nominally still have that same oath. But you're right; it's unconstitutional to require a witness in congressional testimony to affirm an oath to a deity they may not even believe in, or to affirm an oath to a singular deity when you might be a polytheistic Hindu, for example. It's just preposterous. If we were to have a hearing on climate change, for example, and we wanted to call one of the foremost physicists, let's say Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's an atheist. Do we force him to affirm an oath to a God he doesn't believe in? It really, frankly, strains credulity that in this day and age Congress would have something like that, and yet some of the politics persist.
It's discourteous, but it shows that God is still a gotcha issue.
Yeah, well, it's a refreshing political opportunity for many of my colleagues.
That's what they're pushing.
Man, you hear how his voice changed. They, we still got to use God. Like, really?
Yeah, this is who these people are pushing, man. 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. That's what they pushing.
And the young lady, the lady was talking. She said it out loud. I don't believe.
Right, exactly.
And boy, like, he trying to play it off, but it's the same. They both. I'm a naturalist, really.
And then
video play. Ask your healthcare provider about Ozempic.
Hold on. Pause this. got a text from the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Check this out.
Message from other guy. You two guys are pitiful.
No, we're not pitiful. We're Christians. We're Christians and we believe in standing on the gospel of God. We love Jesus to the point that we don't let some kind of political movement, some kind of government movement, some kind of social movement make us deny the word, will, and way of God.
Amen.
We're Christians. Jesus died for us. So now we die for Jesus. We're Christians. That's what we are. The king of, I don't king of pop. Send him to.
The king of pop.
Heaven, Jesus speaking.
Yes, so this king of pop and praise.
Hello, this is Jesus in heaven.
Maybe next year in November when it comes time to vote. Mm-hmm. I've never heard so much mess about this president in my life.
I mean it, man. I promise you, I've never seen it. This kind of frenzy I've never seen before.
They had a chance to make history with Miss Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Now these people are belly aching. They didn't want to make history by having a qualified woman as the president of this country.
She qualified to do what? Move God out and move Satan in?
What?
So we would have had our first woman lady president.
And you would have had homosexual, stopping people from being able to treat their homosexuality as a sin. You would have had NAMLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association, passed where they eliminate the age of consent, where 55-year-old men can go to bed with 5-year-old children. That's what you would have had.
Yes, I'm on the radio. Yes, sir. So they tired of him. He talked at people. He talked down to people.
Yeah.
Miss Obama ought to run, but now she probably don't want to fool with it because how they done disrespected her husband.
Well,
now you have a good day.
Well, quit passing booty laws. And then he ran around there talking, Mrs. Clinton, let me play for him what they think about you. You good liberal, you. This is how the liberals feel about you. You good black voting liberals, y'all. This is what they feel about y'all. Po thing. Was that dog whistle cue?
Oh, man.
Whenever Hillary Clinton comes to the black churches, they put up the trumpets. They pull out the trombones. They turn on the microphones. They turn on the loudspeakers. And what do they say, Q? Oh, yeah. Miss Clinton's coming to church Sunday. Play it again, Q. Play it again, Q. Clinton coming to church Sunday. All the having impeachment hearings, y'all. Oh, yeah, we need to get one black person up there with the rest of the professors, y'all. Oh, yeah, they're going to cut your food stamps off. George, you know George Zimmerman. You know George Zimmerman is suing Trayvon Martin's family for $100 million. For real.
I read that. I seen that. So I was like, really?
Yeah, but then I had another one I promoted to remind myself, well, hold on, let me see here. George Zimmerman. Trump is cutting 700,000 people off of food stamps that are able-bodied workers. He cutting food stamps. He cutting food stamps for able-bodied workers. If you are able-bodied worker, you're not supposed to be getting food stamps in the first. And last but not least, they mad at Attorney General Barr because he said these people that's constantly complaining about the police and constantly saying the police harassment and everything the police do, filing charges against them. Don't be surprised if they don't stop answering some of your phone calls. Well, whether you like it or not, he telling the truth. If I got to lose my career, if I got to get locked up because everything that I do, you escalated because of your blackness, I'm going to leave you over there with your black folks. That's what they're saying. But
so, you telling me that Trump is taking food stamps from people?
700,000 people finna get off of it, but they are able-bodied workers.
No.
That means you like, okay, Tennessee already stopped it. Places like Detroit, Michigan, a man ain't got to hit a lick at a steak. He can get a welfare check every 2 weeks and get food stamps every month. If you're not disabled, if you're not a senior citizen, you're going to get your 6-month food stamp, then you're going to feed. The Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat. Now, that's what the Bible says.
But, you know, what everybody else heard was Trump taking food stamps. They ain't hear the rest of it. All they heard was Trump taking food stamps.
Even if they hear the rest of it, Q, they don't care nobody says able-bodied worker. They don't care nothing about that. Man, I'm supposed to get my free stuff. That's my food stamps. That's what liberalism did to you. But let me show you
what Democrats did.
That's right. Them liberal Democrats. You don't do no liberal Republican. But let me show you other guys and Sir Neil what the liberals really think about y'all. I mean,
come on.
They did a interview. They did a what they call a poll. They did a poll.
I'm El-Amin, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote.
Let's see what they think about y'all. Y'all better go get your real ID. Of 2020, you think you can't vote, you'll be in trouble. You can
yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
And let's pause for the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Pastor Guy.
Hey,
Good
Ray.
afternoon.
Hey, Ray.
You know, when I heard Barr say that this morning, I started laughing because in Newark, New Jersey, certain parts of the Bronx and Brooklyn,
Little Rock, Arkansas, they got certain parts the police don't go in. They tell you come outside their zone.
That's what I'm saying. If there was a gun, if there were people dead hurt on the streets of those cities at one time, the EMTs could not go in unless they had the police to go in, which...
in Memphis, on New Year's Eve night and on 4th of July night, police don't go over there in North Memphis, South Memphis. They catch you in the morning. They catch you in the morning.
Pastor, they done can't clean these folks up half the time. And when it's your own people in the emergency room and you trying to take care of these young brothers out here, these young men, it is very hard. Like I said, my job was hard trying to be a Christian, to do the right thing.
Quit disrespecting your blackness, Ray.
Yes.
You gotta represent your blackness, Ray.
Yes, and I was like, look, we here to help you. Stop using that N-word. Stop cursing.
Ray, Shaft just sent you a question. Hold on.
Message from Shaft. Can you ask Ray if he's finished the pie?
He won't know that pie, Ray. You done told 2 stories about that pie. You called in on my show, and you told me that you ate that pie all at one time.
No, I ate it each day. It's all gone. I mean, I got up in the morning, made my coffee, and had the pie.
Well, how long did it take you to eat the pie, Ray?
Let's see. It was gone Sunday.
It was gone when?
It was gone on Sunday.
And I mean, you had the pie for 4 days because Thanksgiving was a Thursday. Then you got Friday. Then you got Saturday. Then you got Sunday. You had that pie quite a few days.
That's right, because I started that Wednesday when Q brought it.
Oh, you had it 5 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you get your wife some?
No.
Bye, Ray. Bye.
I love you.
Bye. Y'all, let me play what these liberals think about it. I want to make sure y'all know. 2 minutes. I'm just going to play 2 minutes. One and a half minutes.
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African-American?
Definitely. Because they're less likely to have state IDs, minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that are being described.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay a service provider for certain things.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. They don't have smartphones, they don't have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or like they're not informed. I also think
not informed and not aware.
The rest of them are. That's what they think about you. That's what they think about you. And you wonder why they don't offer you nothing in their platforms. They don't have to. Because all they got to do is blow that dog whistle. How that dog whistle go, Q? When they blow that dog whistle, oh, y'all come running. They blow that, it's meal time. It's meal time. That's right. It's boat time. It's boat time. That's right. We're going to get you a striped watermelon, a short bottle of Pepsi Cola, and $5. Go everything D. And when we gonna play your favorite song, how's it go, Q? If you like the show, support the show. Go to AndreGuy.com, click on Revelation Christian Center. You give us the resources, we'll do the work. God bless. I'll be back in here tomorrow. When we get here, we're going to be telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.